Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Speed Tuesday Dash Series live from USA International Speedway on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bob. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Joe. And Joe, tonight's race is going to be a ton of fun. These dash cars are a perfect match with the racing here at USA Speedway. Close quarters racing, long front and back straightaway. You can have multiple grooves here as well, so we're going to see a very, very tight race here, and it's also kicking off the Highline Diecast and Collectibles in-season tournament that they're doing here with both the Speed Cup Series and the Tuesday Dash Series.
Which is amazing, and I'm so jealous that these guys get to be out there racing for. I want one.
Right? Very, very jealous. And, you know, tonight's race is also the Tim Branson Dash. Cast Iron Kyle popping in on the chat over on YouTube saying, hell yeah, boys. Hello, Kyle. Welcome in. Looking forward to the Philly Hot Sauce Festival this weekend. Yeah, I mean, this race is going to be a ton of fun. Here is Tim Branson in the number 92 machine. Everyone heading out to do their qualifying laps. Let's jump on board with Branson as he'll give us a little tour around USA Speedway. He's doing exactly what you need to do. Start high, get a little run coming out of turn number 4, onto the gas. Relatively flat corners here. Easy to kind of dive bomb in and get your nose underneath the guy heading off into the corner as well. And with these cars, it's pretty deceptive. You can drive the car in fairly deep. And we're going to see a lot of that as this race goes on, as Branson is going to go up on the board. Let's see where Branson goes. He's P2 at the moment with a 24.59.
Great start.
Definitely, as looks like Jeffrey Goodpaster puts up a slightly faster lap at a 24.57. Ethan Amberg, Steven Gibson up as well, 24.41 for Amberg. And all race long, it's been all season long rather, it's been Amberg versus Gibson. The two of them always fighting it out at the front. Here is Amberg in that number 14 Castrol Celica.
Such a pretty scheme.
Right? Chris Darling now fastest in that Nissan Skyline. He's going to go up with a 24.34. Amberg putting in some time. Jeffrey Goodpaster was P1 at the time, as Amberg practices getting on pit road. Very deep entry. A lot of people kind of think that pit road entry starts at the wall, but you're actually entering pit road, or I guess pit road timing rather, is a little bit closer or a little bit further down. As we see the 38 of Goodpaster here. And while we're taking a look at it, let me explain a little bit here about the Highline Diecast Collectibles in-season tournament. And the way this works, the winner of the tournament is going to be determined by the driver who scores the most points throughout the next 3 weeks, between both the Tuesday Dash Series and the Thursday Speed Cup Series. First race is tonight here at USA International Speedway. Then in the Cup Series on Thursday at the Milwaukee Mile. Darlington next week, April 3rd at Darlington as well. And then Bristol for both April 8th and 10th for the Tuesday and Thursday Dash Series. So very cool to see. 6 races, 2 series, and whoever has the most points, that winner is going to get a $75 store credit to be used with Highline Diecast Collectibles. So very, very cool. Big thanks to Ken over at Highline Diecast for setting this opportunity up, and it's pretty dang cool to see.
Yeah, I was checking out them before, and I kind of want one.
Right, I'm definitely jonesing for a new diecast.
I want one for us so that I can put it on our shelf for our live podcast. Just have it in the background.
I have a few designs I think that would look awesome. I've already got one from winning the old NSRA Super Speedway series back a few years ago. So definitely wouldn't mind adding to that collection of having a tabletop trio machine too. But tonight's race is also brought to you by our friend Tim Branson. Tim Branson, always fresh at the Tim Branson Dash. And just like that, track is quiet. And we are going to be getting ourselves ready to go for heat race number 1. We do typically have 2 heats if there are 24 or more drivers racing tonight. Looks like right now we only have 19 drivers on the docket, so only 1 heat race, and that's going to determine the starting lineup for the actual feature race. Tonight's race is going to be 75 laps. Caution laps do count. So that is certainly going to be a fun time tonight. Looks like we have... Actually, we are going to be having a couple of heat races here.
It looks like we'll do a 10 and then a set of 9, I guess.
Yeah, looks like it. So that is going to be an interesting race here. You see our starting lineup here for tonight. Let's see if we can get that that set up here. You see Chris Darling here on the pole, put in a lap of 24.342. Stephen Gibson on his outside in that number 97 Hooters machine. Row number 2, we have Ethan Amberg and Zach Williams, Stan Hausman and Tim Branson in row number 6, or row number 3. Row number 4, we have Mark McFadden and Corey Hutchinson. Rounding out our 10-car field for heat number 1, Dave Harrington, Jason Shue. This is definitely going to be a fun race. Looking forward to this 15-lap race. And the way these heats work is there are no yellows. So if you spin out, you're just going to be starting at the back for the feature race. So we shall see here, looking for one more driver to join in with on the field. That's the 39 of Stan Hausman. And then once Hausman does, we'll be ready to get ourselves racing for heat number 1 here at USA International. Now we're just waiting for the pace car to get going. So there goes the field. Ten cars here for heat number 1, 15 laps. And this is going to be fun. We've seen these top few drivers up in the hunt for this race all season long so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and, you know, don't forget, after that Southern National race just a few weeks ago, Chris Darling, Stephen Gibson got into it on the last lap in the overtime period. So, you know, maybe there could be some contact. Maybe they're going to race each other a little bit tighter than they normally would.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something you're going to want to keep an eye out for, because, again, this race doesn't really mean too much as far as the race itself goes. But this is also going to matter, you know, this is also going to see how many driver, you know, where you start for this race.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to be too far back.
Exactly. So pace truck pulls off, field in the hands of Chris Darling. He's going to get on the loud pedal. Green flag is out. And we're racing here at USA International side by side, heading off into turn number 1. Everyone minding their P's and Q's, at least for the moment. But we're now side by side out of turn number 2. Still side by side. As we'll jump on board with Ethan Amberg. He's battling it out with Steven Gibson. Chris Darling's going to lead lap 1. Amberg drives it hard into the corner. Darling slides up. They're still side by side. So we have the drone camera out there on the backstretch, it looks like.
Can't go wrong.
Darling opening up about a half a second lead. Here comes Gibson into the inside. Oh, contact. That's going to shoot the 14 up into the wall. They'll come down, him and the 39 side by side. Gibson just goes on his merry way. Now Amberg stuck on the outside. The preferred line's definitely down low. He's going to have to try to be a little more aggressive to slot his car in, and he does. This time he goes into the inside of the 39 to Stan Hausman. Best battle out there on the racetrack right now as Hausman scrapes that outside wall. Hausman once again scrapes the wall, and he's going to start falling back a little more. There's just something about these cars and the way they sound just feels right. They feel angry. They feel exactly how fast they should be going as well.
Yeah. They remind me of just like an angrier dirt bike.
Yeah.
Just like a 4-stroke, not a 2-stroke.
Yeah, I was going to say double the stroke.
The big dirt bikes. The ones I wasn't allowed to drive.
Right now, the weather looking pretty decent out there for a Florida afternoon. 86 degrees Fahrenheit, 111 degree track temp. So things might be a little slick out there for these drivers. But right now, Chris Darling able to handle the track conditions very well. So he's got himself up to a 1.3 second lead over Steven Gibson. There's Darling, Gibson chasing, and the rest of the field thundering down the back straightaway.
Here we thought they weren't going to race that hard for pole position, but here we are.
Right? And that's the thing too with this, just like you see in real life in NASCAR in the dual races. Nope. As trouble 39 as Stan Hausman goes around. Let's see what happened there. Let's keep an eye out on Hausman. There's Hausman in the blue and white machine. Yeah, he got down right on the apron, and the car just shot around. You can use the apron to help you turn a little bit, but just got on there a little too much, and around he went. So Hausman now behind the 8 ball. And as I was saying earlier, this race is going to determine who's going to start on the inside line, and the next race is going to show who starts on the outside line. Mm-hmm. So think of this as positions 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc.
Gotcha. Not great for Hausman as he is now going to be way back there.
Yeah, he as of right now, he's essentially starting shotgun on the field for the feature race.
Yeah.
But we're coming to 4 to go now. Chris Darling's lead stabilized just about 1.4 seconds over Steven Gibson. Amberg in there as well. We got a good little battle here in 8th as Hutchinson putting some pressure now on the 3 of Jason Shu. As Hutchinson, a little bit of contact onto the number 3. We're looking side by side.
From what we've seen with this series in these cars, that's par for the course.
Definitely. I mean, we're going to see a little bit of bumping, a little bit of rubbing, and that's what these cars are all about. They can take a pretty decent lick and still be able to perform just as if they, just as if they were brand new straight off the truck. I mean, heck, last week we saw a couple of drivers actually flipping and going airborne as if nothing ever happened. And oh, by the way, it was on dirt.
It was. And they still ended up pretty high up there.
Yeah.
All said and done.
Yeah. As we see now, a good battle here between Hutchinson and Harrington. Shu able to kind of sneak away. As the white flag is out, one more lap to go for Chris Darling. Heat race number 1. Darling definitely made this one look easy. As, oh, Ethan Amberg gets into the wall ever so slightly. Right now, everyone in the top 4 running where they qualified, as Chris Darling is going to win in the heat race. Top 4 all finishing where they started. That's Darling, Gibson, Amberg, and Williams. Mark McFadden picked up 2 spots. Branson comes home in 6th. Jason Shu picks up 3 spots as he'll finish in 7th. Harrington picks up a spot in 8th. Hutchinson only lost 1 spot, and Stan Hausman, unfortunately for him, finishes 10th and last on the field.
That'll be a good comeback story.
For sure. But now let's take a look here at the second starting lineup for heat number 2. Kyle Holden on the pole in the number 59 machine. Philip Scott on his outside. Row number 2 has Nicholas Cody in the number 5 machine and Zach Hinson on his outside. Row 3 is Jeffrey Goodpaster and Sidarius Deus. Row number 4, Ryan Newman and Brent Gunn. And Colton Easterday rounding out our 9-car field for this race. And like we said, Joe, only 9 cars. This is going to take care of the outside row for the heat or the main event in just about 15 laps.
I wonder how crazy this one's going to be.
Yeah, and you know, we've noticed this before with a lot of the races, especially at the Total Nonstop Racing League, which we broadcast Monday nights here on the channel, that in a doubleheader situation, race number 1 is usually different than race number 2. 1 could be cleaner than 2. 1 could be more hectic than 2. We saw a fairly calm race number 1. Maybe this will be the exception that proves the rule. Maybe. Who knows? We got some very talented drivers out there. Field making their way down the backstretch for one final time. Pace truck pulls off. Green flag is out. We're racing here in heat number 2. Kyle Holden gets a great jump. He's got Nicholas Cody all over his back bumper. Here's Philip Scott on the top side. Scott is going to go wide, try to get himself a good arc out exiting the corner, but Holden is going to hold strong. Cody to the inside of Philip Scott. Not quite able to do anything with it quite yet, as everybody 2 by 2 by 2 following the leader of Kyle Holden.
Yeah, this grouping seems to be a little bit more collected.
Yes. Certainly a little bit more packed up, at least for now. Here comes Philip Scott trying to take a look to the inside. Can't. He's got Goodpaster now on his back bumper. No trouble. Sounds like one car was sideways. That was the 12 of Sidarius Deus. Deus just got a little bit squirrely there. Everyone going for the same location.
Yeah, good recovery on everybody.
Yeah, let's take a look at that one right again. There's Deus in the all-black machine on the top side. And, oh, yep, right there. Just got a little squirrely. And Deus just falling back ever so slightly. Meanwhile, up front, things have started to calm down ever so slightly, as here comes Zach Hinson trying to make a move on the 38 at Goodpaster. You can hear how long they're out of the throttle, just letting the car coast into the corner. Right there, getting back on. So you're out of the throttle for the majority of the corner.
Yeah, it's that's wild that there's no throttle at all.
But I think that's just the way these cars race. Is here's the 95 of Colton Easterday battling with Ryan Newman. This is for the 7th spot. Easterday has it now, as Newman falls back. I'm interested to hear. Nicholas Cody is shifting, whereas we're not hearing that from other drivers. Right there.
Is he downshifting or?
I don't know if that is a strategy many other drivers are using.
I mean, not with this car because I haven't ever used this car, but when I was racing other cars in this track, that was how I was going around the track.
I feel like, though, he's going to be on the rev limiter more than it's actually going to help him. And in a long run, I mean, it's a 75-lap feature. I know there's not the most power in these cars compared to maybe, like, you know, the NASCAR Truck Series trucks. Typically, though, when you shift, you wind up using the rear tires more just because of the, you know, the higher RPM. So I'm not sure if that's the strategy, but it's working for him. So I can't even say that that's not a good idea.
I guess it would just be longevity versus what the other guys are going to be doing, and fuel.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be using all that much fuel here. It's a 15-lap race, so you're not going to be in any danger of running out at all. But
I mean, in the regular race, not this particular.
Yeah. As Philip Scott's going to get right in the back bumper of the 5 of Cody. Still nothing going here. Cody trying to work on Holden. And I mean, it also just could be a driver feel thing. If the 5 prefers higher revs versus lower revs, yeah, that might be a good idea for him.
Mm-hmm.
3 more laps around. Don't forget, tonight's cameras are brought to you by our friends at TrackCams 4 Gourmets. You can check them all out online, trackcams22.com. Or you can find the link in the description below. Sign up, you get yourself a little bit of discount there for clicking through using our affiliate link. So we have 2 laps to go. This is the battle. Kyle Holden has the point. Nicholas Cody and Philip Scott trying to take it away.
Boy, are they trying.
So white flag, 1 more lap around. Kyle Holden trying to hold them off. Through turns 3 and 4, one final time. Checkered flag in the air. Kyle Holden is going to win heat number 2, followed by Nicholas Cody and Philip Scott.
Man, that's just the teaser for the race.
Yeah, I think if we, you know, if we can get everyone that packed up this whole run, I think that's going to be a ton of fun. as the 59 celebrates by junking the car. Luckily, through the power of video game magic, he'll have a fresh, brand new car coming up now.
Yeah, what could these cars possibly be worth? 15
It'll
grand, maybe.
It'll be fine. Just find a Chevy Cavalier at the junkyard. You're good.
Yeah, it's a lawnmower with less parts. It'll be fine.
But this is certainly going to be an interesting race here. 2.5 minute here for the warm-up.
Just saying, lawnmowers have working headlights.
Right? And you know what? Let's see if we can dial up one of our speed drivers here, just to see what exactly they're thinking. Let's see if we can pull our sponsor here tonight, Tim Branson, into the booth. Hey, Tim, it's Bob and Joe up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Well, doing pretty good. First heat race down. Everything looked pretty good. What are you feeling about the car for tonight?
Well, I've got a funny feeling I'll be at the back. I'm not putting up any kind of expectations of any kind.
Well, there's always that opportunity to try to pick up some spots, do a little, as I like to call it, little vulture racing. When folks get a little too out of sorts, and you can pull one away. Obviously, you are a sponsor for tonight's race, Tim Branson's Cafe. So we're looking forward to having you be out there and supporting the brand.
I'll do what I can. I'll try not to look too much like a fool.
Well, Tim, we'll get you back there in the race day chat, but good luck the rest of the way.
All right, guys. I appreciate you.
All right, that's Tim Branson, driver of the number 92 machine, getting himself ready to go for tonight. As I put him in the wrong room. There we go.
Yeah. You got him close.
It's close enough. Still learning the team names here. But so far here in practice, Steven Gibson fastest on the board with a 24.15. Weather has gone down, 86 degrees still. Track temp has fallen ever so slightly to 108. But as we say that, now we're going to get ourselves into the real deal. Feature race 70 laps here for tonight. Chris Darling will be your pole sitter. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's Tim Branson Dash at USA International Speedway. Chris Darling on the pole. Kyle Holden comes home in second. Stephen Gibson in third. Nicholas Cody starts P4. Row number 3, we have Ethan Amberg and Philip Scott. Zach Williams, Zach Hinson. A couple of Zachs in row number 4. Row number 5, Mark McFadden and Jeffrey Goodpaster. Brent Allen and Tim Branson in row number 6. Row number 7 is Jason Shue and Colton Easterday. Dave Harrington, Ryan Newman in row number 8. Row number 9, Corey Hutchinson and Sidarius Deus. And rounding out this 19-car field for tonight is the 39 machine of Stan Hausman. So 70 laps here on the board. We saw some tight racing, some close racing. Joe, what are you looking for heading into this one?
Well, preferably chaos, but that's because I'm a terrible person. But I'm hoping for some really tight racing. I'm hoping if we got a little taste in the heats, add the other 3 drivers, and I'm hoping for some crazy back and forth up front.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to wind up seeing here as well. You know, we've seen a lot of great racing here tonight in the 2 heat races. It's been clean. A couple of guys spun, but nothing through any, you know, malicious intent or wrecks or anything like that. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun just to kind of see how all of this goes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting race. These cars are so fun. They're so different. Prior to this league, I've never experienced these cars before, so I'm kind of learning as all the viewers are learning as the season has gone on. But it has been so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, these cars put on such great close racing. They're slow, but I think what them being slow is what makes these races that much better. But as the pace truck pulls off, the green flag's in the air, and we're racing here at USA in the main. Chris Darling, Kyle Holden side by side into turn number 1. Steven Gibson all over the back bumper of Chris Darling as we're still side by side, starting to sort things out a little bit towards the front of the field. But everyone else still packed up together. Darling and Gibson able to get away from the pack. Nicholas Cody gets a little sideways. That's going to shoot Philip Scott all the way down to the inside lane. Now Cody will clear, and that's going to let Zach Williams try to fight alongside Mark McFadden. As a little bit further back, we see some cars playing bumper cars. That's Tim Branson involved, as well as Jason Shue. The 28 of Corey Hutchinson is there too. So good battle brewing here, and just action all over the racetrack. We got side by side here now. This is the battle for 8th-ish, as just about there's 12 cars snuggled up under a blanket together. McFadden drives in deep all over the back bumper of Williams. Kyle Holden falling back just a little bit. Started on the outside front row. McFadden makes a little touch to the back bumper, and oh, yellow.
We got a caution.
Trouble in the back. It looks like Colton Easterday might have had an issue. Actually, Jeffrey Goodpaster might have.
I was going to say, I think it's Goodpaster.
Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah. Definitely trouble with he and Colton Easterday. That was certainly interesting.
I wonder if it was some connection issues caused that.
Yeah, let's take a look here. I mean, we're already in the midst of it. As, oh, they are 3 wide here. There's Goodpaster in that yellow, black and white machine. Colton Easterday in there as well. Little contact, and yeah, just a little tap there. Oh, hard lick to that inside wall. And that's where everyone has their little blinks. Colton Easterday had to jump to the pits. Meanwhile, out front, looks like Zach Hinson, who was also involved in that wreck. He's going to head down pit, or come off a pit road. Jason Shue there as well.
Shue not involved. I wonder if he's wonder if he was trying to just grab some gas, or.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was more of a, you know what? Let's just try to fuel up, try to keep the car a little loose, put some more weight on the back end. Don't really need to take tires. So I'm not entirely sure, but with that, we should be getting the 1 to green next time by.
Well, that gets the first caution out of the way.
Yeah.
So everyone calms down. They're all right. We got it out of the way.
Yeah,
Let's
so that
just
is
take a deep breath.
definitely going to be a plus for sure. But we already see there a little close quarters racing here on the pace laps, as Amberg trying to give Darling a little bit of a push. Pace truck pulls off. Darling on the loud pedal. We're back racing. Starting lap number 9. Darling to the inside. Gibson to the outside. Gibson trying a wider arc, trying to stay alongside that number 11 race wrap guy machine. Still side by side. No one giving an inch here. Racing like it's 2 to go instead of 60 to go. Oh, Newman sideways. He's able to keep it going. We stay green. Now we've got ourselves a battle for second. Amberg to the inside of the 97. Gibson starting to is going to wind up getting freight trained if he doesn't get to the inside soon. Because that outside line just not all there yet.
Yeah.
I think potentially we might see it start to pick up some momentum as the race goes on. But right now that bottom side is just so much more dominant, and guys, I mean, like we've seen in the heat races, we've seen guys go down on the apron and almost use it to help them turn, as Gibson finally gets down underneath behind the 5 of Cody.
Now, how would the top develop? Just as the tires wear, or?
Yeah, I think as the tires wear and the way iRacing kind of takes heat into account, that bottom lane is going to get heated up a little bit more. And, you know, like we mentioned, the hotter the asphalt, the less grip it is and the less slick it is, or the more slick it is. So I think as this race goes on, drivers might start running a little bit higher up and getting those right side tires into the cooler asphalt, maybe just around that lower set of hash marks, maybe a little bit higher up. And they might be able to pick up some grip as the run goes on. Because right now they're running just on the hash mark, just below, and that second line might start to pick up a little bit above the hash mark, almost like where Darling's running, maybe a little bit higher up.
See, we're learning.
Baby steps.
Yeah. We're not here to... For all of you watching, you're not here for math. You're here for racing.
Yeah, I went to school for radio, not 2 + 2.
Which is obviously 7.
Yes. And here I thought it was fish. Here's Corey Hutchinson taking a look to the inside of Stan Hausman, not quite able to get it going there. He's going to get some pressure there from the 42 of Zach Hinson. You can hear the crunching as drivers are coming through and just barely just grazing the outside wall in the backstretch. Cody trying to put some pressure here on the 14 as well. Here comes Cody to the inside.
Gotta love the sound these little things make.
Especially hearing those downshifts, too. I would just be worried if I am downshifting. You're hitting some pretty high revs in the middle of the corner. I would be afraid that as you're doing it more and more of overheating the engine and potentially just popping the motor.
Yeah, don't really want a money shift on these things.
No. That is for sure as Ethan Amberg goes up the track and yellow flag is out. Getting word it might be the 28 of Corey Hutchinson. Let's see what happened. There's the 28. And oh yeah, just like what we saw Hausman do.
Mm-hmm.
He got a little sideways, but that's not what the yellow's for. Oh, there's the yellow. You saw that's the 42 of Zach Hinson. He got a little sideways. Take one more look at that one. Oh, he and Mark McFadden came together. No, yeah, the 42 kind of came up and looked like a little bit of net code there.
That's, everyone enters the pits. At least a good chunk of them.
Yeah, so there is everyone taking their tires. Darling there grabbing right sides. 42 of, or the, pardon me, the 59 of Holden taking tires. Gibson and Cody, looks like they might have only taken 2. 12.8 stop for Jason Shue. That was back on lap 5. 13.5 for Gibson. Nicholas Cody, 13.8. 16 and change for Kyle Holden as well. So interesting. Now we got a few drivers here on differing strategies. Top 4 stayed out.
Mm-hmm.
Only 23 laps on their tires.
This is where my brain gets confused and why I'm not a good racer. Because now we have all the different pit strategies. We have who pitted now, who's going to pit later. And now just I got nothing.
I think it's just going to be interesting, you know, what do the guys with old tires, what do they do and how do they fare against the guys who have, you know, taken tires and have the fresh tires?
Yeah. Like I know in our NASCAR series it's a big deal. Is it the same with these little guys?
We'll find out. I mean, I would assume you're always going to want fresh tires over old tires.
Mm.
But a 21 lap difference may not be all that much in a track like this, but who knows? Maybe tire wear does become a factor. I think that's going to be interesting. So the pace truck gets ready to pull off. Green flag is out. We're back racing. Philip Scott on the loud pedal. He gets a great jump over Zach Williams. Stan Hausman getting a little bit of help there from the 97 machine of Steven Gibson. Jason Shue comes together. Oh, Cody and Darling come together as well. Now is when we see those 4 tires, 2 tires, and no tire strategies all start to merge together. Darling gets into it. Oh, trouble. Ethan Amberg to the inside wall. We're going to stay green. How they didn't wreck, I will never know. Let's take a look at that one again. So start back here. That's when the 11 of Darling gets a little squirrely. Amberg had to back off to let him in. Amberg gets a little tap. They're 3 wide. Shue on the top side. He might have gotten into Cody a little bit. That sends the 14 and the 9 and the 5 rather both into the wall, and they're all going to stay together. Look at this, 3 wide again. All clustered together. This one for right around 10th-ish.
Hausman is having issues. He is not moving quick.
There is Hausman. Looks like he had gone off track and came back on, and oh, trouble.
Oh! Oh, that's going to be a big wreck. That might be race over for Hutchinson. If that thing moves, I'll be shocked.
Let's take a look here. Here's Corey Hutchinson. Or actually, let's take a look at the yellow flag. That's the 11 of Darling. He gets a little squirrely. Oh, hard into the 97 of Gibson. And, oh, man, the 42, the 28, the 84. Everyone just piling in.
I don't know how that car's moving. I don't know how any of those cars are moving.
Wow.
I wonder what happened there with Darling. It looks like he just hard left turn. Right
Let's
turn,
take a
right
look
turn.
here. Let's take a look here. We're on board here with the 11. And, oh, just snapped on him, and then that's not the view you want to have.
Yeah, that's not it. We've been saying these things are resilient, and these little guys could run through some heavy damage, but, I mean, it doesn't get much heavier than that.
No, that's for sure. Let's get one more view of this one overall. There's Darling in the black and green machine. He just got loose. Airborne as well. Branson somehow avoids, and then there's the 28. Just nowhere for him to go. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of...
we have 3 outs.
A lot of broken race cars there.
Yeah, Easterday, Goodpaster, and Darling all out.
With both Gibson and Hinson still are heading down pit road as well. Well, that shuffled things up a bit.
A little bit.
Philip Scott is our race leader. And real quick, I do want to go back to seeing what happened to the 92 of Tim Branson, because he had one heck of an escape on that wreck. As we have our replay up. Because, oh boy, did he have an adventure here. So here it is down the back straightaway. He's got himself a pretty decent gap to the rest of the field. We see the 11 of Darling has a little bit of a tap from the 97. And oh, just got loose. And down to the inside. As Carnage strikes behind him.
That is the benefits of being just a little bit back there.
And that's usually my go-to strategy when it comes to super speedway races. So good to see that one working on short tracks too. And oh,
what happened there?
What happened there? I don't know if the 84 had connection issues or what.
It looks like he just floored it through.
Yeah, that typically happens when someone has connection issues and the rest of the field just kind of disappears, and he thinks, oh boy, I lost everyone, I should probably catch up. And wow. And yeah, rightfully so, they do throw the yellow flag.
Stack them all up.
Because, I mean, let's take a look at that one more time. So they are... let's get the drone cam going here, or the chopper cam, and everyone's just kind of pacing like normal.
Oh.
One car blinks. The 84 just
barreled through.
Wow,
blinking in and out of cars.
Let's get one more look at that. Yeah, he was definitely having some connection issues. Because that obviously isn't intentional. He must be thinking, all right, the field's a lot further up than it was, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, he's just blinked out.
That was Harrington, and I believe he is now also out of the race. He must have just had a ton of connection issues.
Yeah, just some internet problems, and that's just kind of the tough break. That's the the difference between real life racing and sim racing. In real life, obviously, you don't deal with that connection issue or anything like that. But I mean, you can consider, really, you can kind of almost consider that like a hung throttle, as the car just would not stop or slow down.
We're all in the Matrix. If we just tap into it, we can hack the systems. Hear my warning, chat.
I think that's how that works. As we're now just over halfway through this one. By the way, if you like what you see, would really appreciate a follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, like the video, comment, and let us know who you think is going to win. Because this one has been quite interesting as we head down the wire. 13 cars still on the track. Gibson, Harrington, and Hinson on pit road. Darling, Goodpaster, and Easterday all out of the race. Just before this one, we had talked to Tim Branson, and he said, I don't know if I'm going to have a good race. He's currently sitting P5.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to be towards the back. I mean, I guess you're technically correct. You got 4 in front of you, but
definitely in front of more cars than you're behind. That's typically the goal. Philip Scott gets on the loud pedal. We're back racing lap 39. A couple of cars just not quite able to get going. That's the 39 of Stan Hausman. As the 13 of Brent Allen gets into Holden. That's going to let Philip Scott pick up a little bit more of an advantage. As, there is a large issue with the 28 of Corey Hutchinson.
No. Oh, no. That is just unfortunate.
Who turned out the lights?
Yeah, I mean, this is the benefit, is if you do run VR and that does happen, you can actually pull an Ace Ventura and stick your head out the window.
I mean, this is, I feel like, all we need to know here. As 38, or the 20 he's driving, we already see the hood kind of deformed into the car.
Yeah.
As he blinks.
Oh, yeah, no.
Hood pops up and, oh, no.
That's on his pit crew.
For some reason, I have a strong want to join the Fraternal Order of Eagles. That's some of the best product placement you'll get. Man, what a wild string of events.
Yeah, this is, for it to fly off all those pegs, and you see there's, what are there, 4, 5, 6 of them? There were 6 pegs that hold that hood on, and just yeet.
And that just goes to show how how you need to keep your car clean, because having the hood pop up like that is frankly terrifying.
Yeah, just hit a certain speed and then whoop.
I'm interested to see one more time. Oh, that's even worse. That's even worse. Put it in slow motion here.
Yeah,
and I mean,
what am I supposed to do?
He's just at the mercy of physics.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's your best case, right? What's the fastest way to get that roof down? Bang it into the wall.
slow down a little bit. And what scares me is here as we ride on board live with the 28 of Hutchinson is that hood is still bubbling around a bit. I don't know if it's, you know,
Has he gone into the pits yet?
I do not believe he has, no.
Well, maybe banging it into the wall dented it enough to stick it in place. I guess we'll find out.
That is certainly going to be interesting as this one goes on. As we should be getting the one to go this time by. And we are. You know, I've been broadcasting these races for a little while, and oh my, what in the world happened there?
That was the 97. It was Gibson. He was upside down, I think, for a second there.
Yeah, I saw one car. Whoa.
What?
Looks like the 84 again had an issue. As Gibson was there, and oh
no.
That was interesting there as the green flag comes back out.
Yeah.
We're rolling again. Safest place is at the front of the field, I feel like now.
Yeah, Holden just right out of the gate.
So here comes Deus taking a look to the inside of McFadden. Tim Branson running P3. And Joe, this race, like we'd mentioned at the start of the race, the Highline Diecast Collectibles in-season tournament starts tonight. So all these drivers are going to be collecting some pretty important points, especially for these guys that have been able to dodge the wrecks and stay up front. This is going to be huge for them, just to kind of capitalize on some of the guys who may not be running on the Tuesday night series if they run on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? It's the Tuesdays and Thursdays for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, so 6 races in total. And if you're someone who can capitalize early, that may vault you towards some pretty high points finishes when it comes to the $75 to Highline Diecast. Good battle here. McFadden to the inside of Deus. Jason Shu trying to put some pressure in there as well. Philip Scott, the only driver who has yet to come down pit road. And he's currently leading, able to hold off Brent Allen.
Yeah, at this point, if another caution comes out, I'd be afraid to go down pits because I don't think I want to be back there.
No, certainly not. As we'll drive on board to see the driver eye here for the 12 of Deus. Side by side with McFadden. As now the 22 goes to block. And oh, a little trouble there. Both of them go around. Shu in there as well as Zach Williams. And oh, Gibson, nowhere for him to go either.
Yeah.
So with 20 laps to go, we'll get another reset.
Yeah, I feel like these cars are really, really good at pit maneuvering.
And I feel like that's just an issue that these cars have. You can see the tires stick out just a little bit further than the body does.
Yeah.
And, you know, when tire meets tire, physics happens.
Yeah. Especially at a high rate of speed.
Definitely. So we'll take one more look here at the replay. There's the 22 of McFadden. You can already see him sideways after a little bit of contact from the 12. And then everyone just kind of had to pile in. And oh, huge hit for the 97.
Yeah, he's just been getting the short end of the stick. And so a bunch of people pit again. Scott back to the front, refusing to go out. Or in, I should say.
Yeah, I think he might just not need to, or may not feel the need. Let's take one more look here. We're on board with the 97 of Gibson. He sees them wrecking. He sees them all go to the bottom, and just nowhere for him to go.
It's interesting. When was the last time the number 16 pit?
It looks like he had pit back on lap 21.
For a second there, he was able to pass Scott.
So here is the breakdown. Philip Scott has not pit. Brent Allen pitted on lap 21. Same with Branson and Amberg. Hausman on lap 31. Kyle Holden on 41. Lap 30 for Jason Shue. And everyone else just pit here on lap 52. Brent Allen looks like he might have taken 2 tires at 12 seconds. Branson and Amberg 4 tires. Hausman 4. Holden 4. Shue 4. Cody 4. So a bunch of different strategies.
Yeah.
As we're going to go green with 15 laps to go. It's just like we saw in the heat races. Can Scott's tires staying strong? Can someone like Brent Allen or even Tim Branson? I think Branson might be in the best position if he gets a good start.
Yeah.
He may be able to try to stick his nose in underneath the 90 if he can get the start that he needs.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Pace car off. Philip Scott on the loud pedal. We're back green. Branson does not get a great start. Ethan Amberg does. Amberg to the inside of Allen. Can't quite get the nose in there. They're side by side from 4th on back.
Nope.
Shue into the wall hard. We're going to stay green.
He's only able to wreck himself on that one, but he recovered. I'll bet in the back of the line.
A little bit of contact there between Tim Branson and the 14 of Ethan Amberg. Out of turn number 4. Great battle here with 13 laps to go. One shy of the podium. Branson has the position. Here comes Nicholas Cody now. Cody all over the back bumper of Branson. Branson will get clear. As Cody, with a very angry looking 4-cylinder, starting to bear down on the 92. Battle for second heating up. There's Kyle Holden to the inside of Allen. Holden moves up to P2. That's going to bunch up the rest of the field. Brent Allen now on the inside. Branson stuck on the outside. Here comes Cody, as well as the 14 of Ethan Amberg. And Stan Hausman, after starting shotgun on the field, he's up, found himself P7. Meanwhile, out front, you're not missing anything. Philip Scott has opened up about a 7/10 of a second lead over Kyle Holden. A couple more cars having some connection issues. As here's Cody to the inside. Side by side out of turn number 4. Here comes Cody. He's going to try to clear Brent Allen. He can't. Now he does. Allen, a little bit of a push from the 92. 92 is going to fall back into the clutches of Stan Hausman in the 39. Some great racing here as we're coming up on 7 laps remaining here in the Tim Branson Dash. Philip Scott has opened up now a second lead over Holden. Nicholas Cody is charging. He's going to try to take a peek, get a good drive off of 2. Cody drives it in. Right on the apron. Able to make the car rotate, and he's going to move up to second. Or is he? On the outside, Holden holds strong. He's going to fall back. He's going to get now to the outside of Brent Allen. As now we'll move Nicholas Cody up to P2.
Now Cody catch Scott in 6 laps.
That clock is ticking. That time by, Cody was 0.2 faster. He's already shrunk the gap to 0.7. Cody pitted on lap 52. Philip Scott has not.
I guess those tires do matter.
That time, another 0.2 of a second. He's got 4 to go. And the maths. But is he going to have enough time? 3 to go.
I think we're going to have a shootout with about a lap and a half to go.
That time, another 0.2 of a second quicker. The gap is now 0.4. This battle is heating up.
It looks like it's that entry. Cody is able to get a much hotter entry.
Cody downshifts. Gets a good drive out. Philip Scott plays defense. He's going to hold the inside. Cody tries to enter high and drive out low. White flag. 1 more lap to go. Can Philip Scott get his first win of the year? Is Nicholas Cody going to make some moves? Down the back straightaway. Scott gives Cody the outside. Side by side through 3 and 4. Checkered flag in the air. Philip Scott gets a good drive off. Philip Scott is going to win the Tim Branson Dash.
What a hold. Great effort by Cody.
Wow. Philip Scott somehow able to hold off the hard-charging Nicholas Cody. The no-pit strategy pays off for the Ninja. And now we'll see Philip Scott burn it down on the front stretch. Wow, what a finish. Philip Scott gets the win over Nicholas Cody and Kyle Holden. What a run.
Just a great call on his part. We were really, or at least I was, doubting not pitting at all, but hey, it worked out.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure what was going to happen there. As we'll now try to pull up our drivers into the interview waiting room. And Joe, I believe you've caught up with our third place finisher, driver of the 59 machine, Kyle Holden.
Hey, Kyle. Congratulations on your podium finish. How did you feel about your performance today with a very caution-filled race?
Pretty lackluster. I was just trying to be out here. I haven't raced USA in years, so I was just trying to learn the track as I went. And these guys were downshifting into 3 and 4, and I couldn't figure that one out. So I just tried to keep it in fourth and hold on as much as best I could.
Well, I mean, it seemed to work out for you with all the restarts and the field being so aggressive. How were you kind of handling each caution?
You definitely wanted to be on the inside if you could, but a lot of those I had to start on the outside. So try to pinch them down best you can and hope for the best. But just try to be aggressive. And if they're going to be aggressive, you might as well be aggressive. I know I punted one of the guys out of the way that was on older tires than me, so I just get him out of the way. You got to be a little bit aggressive. It's really hard to pass.
Yeah, I noticed that with these cars, they could kind of take a beating. Uh, so I guess you were able to get in there and be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, just a little bit. You don't want to put them too hard, though. These things will shoot out of your hands. They kind of, as you saw from some of the corner stairs. I know Steven got wrecked by Chris Darling. He was kind of a missile. That was pretty funny to watch from my end. And then a couple other guys I didn't get to see in the back, but I know it can be a handful when it gets out of shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure you got some shout outs for us.
Oh yeah, of course. Chris Darling and all that for putting on the league. Rat Market for always being on the car, and some HQ, Drift HQ, all them.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's Kyle Holden, our third place finisher in tonight's race. I'm now joined by second place driver of the number 5 machine, Nicholas Cody. And well, Nick, one heck of a race there. Talk us through those closing laps, because once you got around Holden, as well as Brent Allen, you were on a mission, picking up, a quarter of a second every lap, and just kind of ran out of time.
Yeah. Oh, what a race! I was involved in I don't know, 3 or 5 different accidents. Philip made a really great call to not pit. Once you got in the back, it was a madhouse for sure. But yeah, I pitted on that last caution just to be like, what do I got to lose? I was like 8th. I think I came back out in 8th, and then so I didn't lose anything. And tire offset worked. One more lap.
And that was going to be my my next question for you is, did the tires matter? Did you kind of feel like the fresher tires were the right answer versus Philip not even pitting once in the race? Did you notice any difference? I mean, obviously you were faster there once you got the fresh tires, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, the tire fall off wasn't crazy. I just think that having that little bit, I only took rights the last pit stop, but the rights were wearing a little bit. Like my rights were at 92. Granted, I got spun out 4 times once I got in the back, but yeah, no, Philip made the good call. If I could do it over again, I would have stayed out like he did.
Fair enough. And, taking a look next week, going to be racing at Darlington, a pretty big track for these cars. It may almost feel like a super speedway race almost. What are your thoughts there about taking these things to Darlington?
Oh, it'll be fun. Yeah, like you said, I think it's going to be more like a plate race versus a typical Darlington race you see in a real NASCAR series car. But yeah, it'll be fun for sure.
Definitely. Well, Nick, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Broadcast is always great to watch it back. Everyone who puts on this league. Tonight and Thursday nights are a blast with the speed.
Awesome. Well, Nicholas, congratulations again there on the P2 finish, and looking forward to seeing you next week at Darlington.
Sounds good. Have a good night, guys.
All right, that's Nicholas Cody, our second place finisher. And Joe, you've made your way down to victory lane where you're speaking with the ninja himself, Philip Scott.
Hey, Philip, congratulations on the win. How does it feel to come out on top after such a chaotic race?
Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties here. Hey, Philip, it's Joe and Bob in the booth. You got a copy?
We might have lost Phil.
All right. Well, we are going to slide him back over into the interview waiting. But, man, what a wild race. What a wild finish. And the fact that Philip didn't even pit.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
There's Philip. We
There
got him
he
now.
I don't know why I did that. So yeah, that was an interesting race.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. What was your game plan to not pit, or did the cautions kind of you decided to go with something else?
Yeah, I thought it was too early to pit. But I knew that tires were a factor for sure. But like I kind of figured it out in practice. Thankfully, I looked in the garage after like a 25 lap run in practice, and I'm like, okay, the right front's getting eat up pretty bad. So I had to kind of do another run and readjust because I knew that 70 laps was pretty long in these cars. So I knew I had to readjust and kind of like figure out the right lines and all that. So I kind of just, when I could, saved tires. Like back when I was like in 5th, 6th before everybody pit. And then when everybody pit, I thought about it, but I was just like, I want to see how I was like, I didn't really use my tires up that much. And so I kind of just stayed, like kind of doing my same pace.
So you ended up with experimenting to the top is really what happened there.
Yeah, I got lucky with the yellows and stuff. I mean, sometimes you're unlucky, and I've had a little bit of bad luck past couple weeks. So I'm glad that I knew eventually it'd come back around. But it was hard. It was hard fought. Nicholas at the end there, I knew he was on new tires, so all I could do was just play defense. And yeah, even like way before that, like 30 laps before, I was kind of in trouble when I got a little too tight coming out of a corner and had to really defend to keep that first spot, and that ended up being the winning move. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I could barely do a burnout because these cars have like 2 horsepower. So I had to like I managed to like on accident like get a wheel in the grass, and then that turned my car around. I'm like, okay, I can do a burnout now.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got some shout outs for us.
Yeah, I don't really have any anything on my car for this, but shoutouts to this league, man. I just started like 3 weeks ago racing here because I mean, you guys know me from TNR, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun like being able to like some of these guys I used to race with back in the day, and in another league called NSRA, and it's cool being able to race with some of them again and some new faces, and yeah, it's been pretty cool to kind of, because my oval racing for the most, like almost exclusively for the past like couple years has been only TNR, like in leagues. So it was pretty cool to it's been cool to see, like, just compare how tough the competition is in both, and like regardless of the field size, I'd say they're really neck and neck. And so yeah, I think that TNR was really good practice to like be able to do another league again.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these leagues are so much fun to watch on our front, and I'm sure for everybody watching on their whatever they watch on.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
thanks again. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
All right, that's Philip Scott, our winner here tonight for the Tim Branson Dash. Joe, let's take a look now at the final standings for tonight's race. Our winner here of the feature is Philip Scott over Nicholas Cody and Kyle Holden. Brent Allen comes home P4. Tim Branson, he said he was going to hang out towards the back of the pack, but he winds up stealing himself a top 5 finish for tonight. In 6th place, we have Ethan Amberg. Stan Hausman comes home 7th after starting shotgun on the field. The biggest mover of the race is Stan Hausman. Ryan Newman comes home 8th. Sedaris Deus in 9th. Stephen Gibson rounds out the top 10. In 11th, Jason Shue. Corey Hutchinson in 12th. Zach Williams 13th. Dave Harrington 14th. Zach Hinson in 15th. Mark McFadden 16th. Chris Darling 17th. Colton Easterday in 18th. And Jeffrey Goodpaster rounding out our 19-car field. Well, a bit of a programming note. Tomorrow you can listen to the Tabletop Trio podcast live on Twitch and on YouTube here. Make sure you subscribe to the channels, follow us, like the video, and all that fun stuff to check out what we're talking about there. And then this weekend we'll be at the Philly Hot Sauce Festival at Neshaminy Creek Brewing. You can check them out, phillysaucefest.com. So I think that'll just about do it for us tonight. For one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And this has been the Tim Branson Dash, part of the Speed Tuesday Dash series. Have a great night.